Bengals fans are amazing. They're resilient, they're tough, but they're fun. And I'm really excited to hopefully meet a lot more of you.
Isaac has the big game. Then we became a real balanced offense for the playoff run, which I thought was really important.
He put on the greatest route running exhibition I have ever seen in my life.
He was football 24/7, and that was the greatest part of Chad.
At times, the early part, I would tell him when we were throwing deep passes, I said, don't wait too long, because I'm going to get away. If you ain't going to have the arm to get there. So, I want to run to the ball,
Well, Duke, looks like Duke's in the waiting room. I don't want to keep Duke waiting. He gave us a very limited amount of time. I know he's a busy man. Duke, what's going on, big dog? How you doing, buddy?
Jim, how are you, man? Thanks for having me on. Yeah,
Hey.
I'm real busy. I'm sitting on my porch.
Yeah, well, hey. Have a little drink going on there.
Joe Burrow has played in big games his entire life, and I would think he will be a steady hand at the bow of the ship. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if they take him all the way to the Super Bowl. I really wouldn't.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Talking Football and Bengal. Jim and friends. Guys, I don't know what we're going to call this episode. Bengals fans counseling session. I don't know what we're going to do. But tonight, what we got lined up for everybody, about 8:30, 8:35, Ickey Woods is going to be on with us tonight. And, guys, the rest of the show before that, you, the fan. I just posted a link on all of our social media platforms. We already have a handful of folks that are in the waiting room. We want you to come on and voice what your concerns are. How do we still make the playoffs as a 4-14? The world has it ended. How do we make the playoffs this year? What are your concerns? Guys, I want to preface this episode by saying, look, we want you to voice and talk about whatever you want. We don't want to turn to a bitch session. If you're going to bitch about, our left tackle not playing well, that's legitimate, right? So let's have some fun tonight. Let's solve our problems. Let's have the coaching staff hear your voice. And maybe they'll listen to us. I don't know. But let's have some fun with this tonight. So, James, what's going on, big dog? Good to see everybody on the screen again.
Yeah, we got the gang back together. Kind of perfect timing by Lindsay. Certainly a sad day for the Bengals family as we heard about the passing of Mike Zimmer's friend who was in a coaching position with the Bengals. Just, tragic news. The Zimmer family's already gone through so much with the loss of his wife a couple of years back there, and now to deal with the death of his son. Just prayers for their family, and just be thinking about them in their tough times. So, a lot of us here were up in Cleveland yesterday. Had fun seeing everybody pregame. Unfortunately, the game didn't go as planned. So, again, we'll talk about it tonight. Season not over. Talk about the trade deadline where we sat pat and, what your thoughts were on that. And a lot of football ahead. One thing I do know, it's gorgeous and 70 degrees on Sunday. So look forward to seeing everybody at the tailgate and getting back on track.
Absolutely.
Tom?
You going ahead, Jimmy?
No, go ahead.
Okay. No, echoing James, it's certainly not time to write off the season, but it's okay to be very frustrated with last night. And trust me, there's nobody more frustrated than the guys that are working hard inside Paycor Stadium. Other teams get banged up. We're very banged up right now with some very, very critical parts of the team missing. But the only thing we can do this week, there's only one thing we can do this week, and that's beat Carolina. So I think going into the bye week, a win with Carolina and hopefully a week to somewhat heal up will help things. I don't think it's going to solve everything, but it will definitely help things. It's the only thing that we can do this week. So get down early, be loud. I noted there were some suggestions that we needed to make the stadium louder earlier. So that might be something we address during the bye week, what we can do more as fans. But there are a lot of things to be frustrated about, a lot of things to be frustrated about. Probably frustrated is very light. But we move on, we move forward, and I really think this is the team and the quarterback to fight through this.
Absolutely. Jamie?
I don't have much to say. I'm just like, last night was speechless. It's crazy. How the hell could we not beat the Browns? I don't understand. It's but the Browns that
Jamie, if you don't have much to say, would you like me to read some of the texts I got from you during the game last night? I mean, it is the family hour still.
This is a family-friendly show. No, it's just crazy, guys. Every time we play a backup quarterback, I get nervous. It seems to be we make these backup quarterbacks look like Peyton Manning in his prime up there. It drives me nuts. But we'll talk to the fans tonight and see what everyone else is saying.
Yeah. One more thing before we get going, Tony. Just give us your thoughts, brother, real quick.
That's disappointing for sure. The Brownies have definitely been a thorn in our side the last few years. I was hoping for a turnaround. So I'm just hoping that we can get this fixed. And when the Brownies come visit us in the jungle, we'll make it a different storyline.
All right. We have several people in the waiting room. We're going to get to you here just a second. Before we do, I want Tony to go through, kind of give us an update on the charity things and what we're doing next year. Tony, go ahead and share with everybody some of the things we have planned. Sure.
So let's give an update first. We're at $64,784 fabulous dollars that went to charity. We did a little charity yesterday up in the city up north. We got $800 that we're going to give to the League for Animal Welfare. Talking about that real quick, that is our next big event. That's going to be on our bye week. We're going to do a foaling tournament. So if you haven't signed up for your team yet, please do. It's going to a good cause. And then we have our duck race that we got scheduled too as well for next Tuesday. It's going to be for the neurofibromatosis. Corey, or Bengal Warrior as we know him. He teamed up with us, and we're going to be doing a duck race for him. So hopefully that earns some good money for that charity as well.
And we'll have Corey on. We'll have Corey on to talk about that next week and why that's important to him. So sorry, James, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to thank Brandon for donating the Tyler Boyd mini helmet that we raffled off, and congratulations to Greg Lowe for winning that. Greg spent a couple days up north there with his friend and toward the Hard Rock or the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and joined us pregame like many fans did. And thank you for Tony and Brandon for putting that together. And the total keeps going up, so we're well within our goal. And as we said, hard work of Tony and Carrie, and the graciousness by Bengals fans. We appreciate everything you guys and gals do.
Okay, speaking of Bengals fan, guys, let's get these guys on the air. We've got a few people that have called in right away. So same thing we did last time. You guys come on, air your grievances. You don't have to be overly positive. You don't want to be. Just keep it family friendly. No swearing. No, nothing crazy. Don't get us. I don't think we have FCC rules here, but just don't get us fined. I mean, we're trying to raise money for charity. We don't want to have to put some of that money towards your fine. All right. So first one up is going to be Ben. Ben connected right away. What's going on, Ben?
How you doing, Bengal Jim? All my condolences go to Mike Zimmer and his family. But losing to Shabobi yesterday is probably the worst thing that happened to this club. To this team. Who's our backup? This is the perfect time to keep William Jackson or pick him back up to get another corner, because Dax Hill, he showed me in preseason that he's not that level yet. And plus, I'm from I'm a Ohio State fan, and I don't really like cover with Michigan, but he's probably the next one up.
So William Jackson went to the Steelers, I think, didn't he, today?
Yep, that is correct, via a trade.
Yeah, you know what? Ben brings up a good point, man. Tony and I and James were right at the game. You knew as soon as he went down on the field, it was something serious. They put him in the blue tent. He threw his helmet off. They put him on the cart. Later in the game, he actually came out with his hoodie on, so nobody could recognize who he was, with a really big knee brace on. So he's out for the year, guys. ACL, I think, was the final diagnosis on that. I mean, so that's tough, man. To be honest, he was probably our best defensive back, maybe one of our best defensive players. So that's a big void to fill. But Ben, that's a great point, buddy. We've got to figure out a way to, next man up has always been the mantra here, right? So we got to find somebody to step up and fill that void for sure.
And another key point is we can't afford to lose another division game. We got to win the Steelers game, which is a big win. We can't lose to the Browns and the Ravens. If we want a chance at the playoff, there is no doubt we have to win every division game to make a playoff spot.
Hey, Tom, talk about that, brother. We talked about that today too. Great point, Ben.
Yeah, Ben, we've got to find a way to get to that magic 9, at minimum 9, which probably won't do it. 10, you should start feeling pretty good. But they've got to find a way to do that. They've probably got to upset a team that nobody can think they can beat and win those ones that are competitive games. So, but like you said, let's get Carolina and then get on to Pittsburgh and see how things are looking from there.
Yep. All right, Ben. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for being part of this, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
All right, let's bring on next up Greg Luther. What's going on,
Greg?
Greg.
Luther Vision.
Luther Vision. What's going on, brother? Hey, what's in that koozie, brother? What are you drinking tonight?
Coke Zero.
Coke Zero, you and James.
He ain't lying.
Talk to us, brother. Talk to us.
Off the ledge, Greg.
The term I use a lot these days is fake fans on social media. I'm just tired of people going on social media bashing the team. But when they start winning, everybody just jumps on the bandwagon. Believe me, I get frustrated. I mean, I text. It's one thing like when you text it to friends and all that, or like, family members. It's one thing when you privately say to somebody, but when you post it on social media, to me, that's like leaving a permanent mark on there. And that's what I just can't stand. I get it. People are frustrated, but I just get so burned out by, I keep using that term, fake fans. I just get so tired of it. So it's just, unfortunately, we've had a bad luck with the injury bug this year. Last year didn't really happen so much. And fortunately, it just bit us pretty hard as of right now, but I'm still hopeful things can turn around though.
Greg, no doubt we love your positivity and, the bumper stickers on the car, you got to wash. We got more bumper stickers. That looks great. And everything you do on social media. I'm going to turn around and ask you a question. We sat pat here at the trade deadline today. Didn't do anything. You happy, sad, disappointed? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, look, I'm disappointed, but am I surprised? Probably not. I mean, I wish something could have been made, especially with Woozier going out, but my question is a lot of teams were saying, well, look, you're low on corner. We want more in return for you. I mean, I just you look at Chase Claypool. I'm like, how is he worth a second round pick? I mean, some of these guys in these trades, it was just like, you've got to be kidding me. I would have never given a second round pick for Chase Claypool. I don't know if I would have even considered a 5th round pick. So I'm sure the asking price was very big right now. So who knows?
Greg, I'm with you, brother. I wouldn't give a bag of chips and a 6-pack of Coke Zero, brother. No, we're not trading for that. Not worth it.
Jamie, I apologize. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
That's okay. I was going to go back to Greg's original point. It is interesting that, team goes all the way to the Super Bowl. We attract new fans. Joe Burrow area, attract new fans. You can definitely tell on social media some of the people who haven't been a Bengals fan long enough, because it's like scorched earth when things go bad. And for the OG fans, like everyone on the screen here, it's just another day at the office, unfortunately.
Yeah, like I say, like some guy wrote on my Facebook page, Bengals are playing like the Bungles, and I just said, you know what? Get off. I blocked that dude and all that and stuff. I said, look, you want to talk negative on social media, do it somewhere else. Don't do it on my personal account or Facebook. I even posted that yesterday. I will block you and all that. And one guy tried to debate me. Well, we have a right to say what we want to say. Then go say it somewhere else. Okay? Go do it someplace else. I just don't put up with it anymore. It's just like I say, it's just, believe me, I'm in pain. I'm in pain so badly right now, but I'm not.
Greg, as much as we hurt, and as many guys as we have hurt, would you agree that this week we can do one thing going into the bye, and that's beat Carolina? Let's find a way to beat the Panthers and go from there.
I don't care if the player of the game is the long snapper. I don't care if Kevin Huber's player of the game. The old Al Davis saying, just win. I don't care if Burrow throws 5 interceptions and we still win the game. Just win the game is all I say.
If we don't beat Carolina this Sunday, next week's episode, we have to bring that sports psychologist guy back on here, because we're going to have a lot of fans that need serious help. So,
Greg, we're beating the Panthers next week. Damn it, we're beating the Panthers next week, Greg.
We will, man.
All right, Greg, thanks for coming on, brother. Good day, man.
Hey,
Thanks, Greg. Great to see you,
love you,
buddy.
buddy. Love you, man. Thanks for being part of the show, bud.
All right,
Greg
next,
is awesome, guys. Love him. Love that guy.
Bengals Nation 09.
What's up?
How's it going, guys? I finally made it home after my long night in Cleveland.
Yeah, man, what's up?
Yeah, cost me a little bit of money to get the car out, and had to go home to get Mom, Uber home to get Mom, and then had to go back to prove ownership. Then once we were on the road for about 10 minutes, and car overheated again, so we had to get it towed from Cleveland all the way back to Toledo.
Oh Lord! So tell us, man, what stuck out to you last night, brother? What do we need to fix, man? How do we fix it?
A lot of work on defense. We need to work on the zones and coverage altogether. I mean, if we could sign a couple of free agents for a cornerback, that would help.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, he brings up another good point. I mean, obviously, that with Eli Apple being out and Awuzie last night getting hurt, dude, that was a struggle, guys. That was a real struggle last night defensively. They took advantage of it.
We drafted Cam Taylor-Britt there in round 2. Certainly, he had his injury history. He's a rookie. He's going to take some lumps, but he's one of the few options that we have at that cornerback position. We saw Dax Hill get slid over to the other cornerback once Cheeto went out. They tried Trey Flowers. Yeah, my son approves everything I say. They tried Trey Flowers, but I think he's best suited at tight ends. Tom, you and I had that conversation earlier. So, that cornerback position is a need. We're gonna see what we got, and we're gonna throw some rookies to the fire here. And Cam Taylor-Britt and Dax Hill are gonna get some playing time.
Well, brother, hey man, I'm telling you, it was great seeing you last night, man. Thanks for stopping by, man. I know it was a bad game, but we had a fun time spending some time together at the brewery on 4th Street together, brother. Thanks for being part of the show, man.
Hey, no problem. It was just a long night in the casino. that was the only place to go with the amount of money I had.
Hell yeah, brother. Who day, man. Thanks for being with us, man.
Night.
All right.
He was awesome. He was literally at the event last night that we had, the pregame, man. It was an awesome time, and he was there, man. We had a good time with him.
All right. Next up, our friend Andrea. What's going on?
Andrea, what's up, girlfriend? How you doing?
I'm
jacking.
We need your help, Andrea. We need counseling. We need your help. Help us solve this problem. We need you.
So I just want to say that today, seeing some of the guys walk into the stadium, it was very subdued. There was no exuberance, no celebration, nothing like that. I think a lot of people forget that these are still regular guys. They still have a job to do every day, whether that one day a week is their best job or not. They still have to come to work every day, just like the rest of us, and have a job to do. And, to see a lot of people out there just ragging on them, personally, a lot of personal digs at these guys, it breaks my heart because, they're just regular people like the rest of us.
For those that don't know, Andrea works at the pro shop. She sees these guys every day. So I'm so glad you dialed in. So you're giving a perspective that others don't get to see. These guys hurt more or as much or more than we do when they go down, and you get to see it when these guys come in, right?
Yeah. I saw, who was it today? I saw Drew walking in today in his boot still. And that's rough. Like, I've seen him since he got injured. So it's just rough to see those guys, like, when they're down and out like that. You could tell it was a rough morning for them to be there after what happened last night.
And let me add something here. I think look, this is just my opinion. Not all of us on the screen are going to agree with this, and it's okay. We're all Bengal fans. We're all friends here. What she brings up is very interesting to me. And this is why I choose to be best I can, as positive as I can, because these guys hurt like us. They see and hear everything we say on social media. Absolutely. Trust me, they see and hear everything. And there's peaks and valleys throughout the season. We're in a valley right now. We got to figure out how to get out of this. But the only way to get out of that, they're going to bust their ass to work to get out of it. But I want that positive energy from me and the fan base to help these guys understand we're there, win or lose. We're going to be upset just like them.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the positive energy, even in the valleys of the season, that helps these guys out, man. They feel the love, guys. They really do. And they feel the negative energy as well. But that's my opinion, Andrew. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but that's how I feel.
No, go ahead, Andrea. I guess my point was, we're fans. We, as you alluded to, feel it, but man, it's twice as hard on the players and their families. This is their livelihood. This is their paycheck. They're worried about a job. Just imagine you worrying about your job if your job's going to be there tomorrow. So, stay positive. As we said, we'll have fun Sunday at the tailgate. We'll be there cheering everybody on, and it's real easy to get negative, but stay positive. Brighter days are ahead, and the injury bugs hit us. Now it's next man up. Have some faith in the coaches, and we're going to turn this thing around. I think the bye will do us good when that arrives here soon, and get healthy and truck on for the second half of the year.
So, Andrew, one last question, maybe the most serious question I'm going to ask all night to anybody on the screen here. Did the Bengal Jamie sleeveless shirts come into the pro shop yet?
We actually did just get some more shirts in the other day, and I was surprised. And you were, I thought.
That's awesome.
Jamie, did you approve the, those mannequins of you to be shipped to the pro shop yet, so they can, dress these things up and get ready to ship them out?
I haven't signed off on it yet, but I'll be sure to stop by.
It's my understanding they're in the back room, just haven't uncrated them yet.
The Santa Claus mannequin is out there. All right, Andrew. Lovely to see you.
Hey,
Andrew, we love you. Thank you.
Before she goes, Amanda, you still have those for my grandson. He's growing.
Who's
quick.
Amanda?
I'm sorry, Andrea. I knew that. Those 3 T's in Burrow and Chase for my grandson.
As far as I know, they're still out there. I haven't been. I've been working in the warehouse lately, so. But from what I remember from the last couple of days, they're still in there.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry.
Thanks again. We'll see you.
I'm trying to get some stuff put on layaway here. No worries. All right. Thanks. Thanks, Andrea. All right. Next up is Greg.
Greg, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, how you guys doing? Enjoy your show and your work.
Hey, thanks, man. We thanks for being a part of this, brother. Talk to us, man. What do you have in mind?
The biggest, everybody knows the offensive line is probably their biggest problem, and there's nothing really you can do with it at this stage of the game. But they just got to keep working hard and improve. I think the defense has played damn good all year. The injuries are catching up with us in the defensive backs. But, those kids will learn, and I feel the veterans, I don't know how it works down there, but I'm assuming – if they can, they'll be there at practice and help the young guys along. And as far as making trades, everybody's disappointed. They only got $3 million in cap space, and you got some big contracts coming up. So, I don't blame them for not making a trade, really. There's some free agent cornerbacks out there. They might want to take a shot at. Who knows? But I still got them in the playoffs. The division's going to be really tough being 0-3, but they can get a wild card. They can get a wild card. They just got to, beat Carolina, regroup on the bye week. And I hate to say it, but I'm telling you, we got Kansas City's number. I appreciate the time, guys.
Hey, thanks, Greg. We appreciate it. Tom, let's talk about that. I think Greg makes a good point here, man. Last year during that Super Bowl run, we were very fortunate with the injury bug, right? We didn't have a bunch of major injuries, guys out for a long period of time. Man, we're starting to get hit a little bit with that. Every team gets hit with it, right? Some more than others. But talk about that, Tom. Last year was great. We're starting to get hit with that a little bit more this year.
Well, we've had years in the past where Zach's second year, where the team was. I think the last game against Baltimore, we ended up with 2 starters going into that game. It was just ridiculous. We've had years where only certain groups Maybe one year the linebackers, one year the defensive line, one year the offensive line would just get ravaged. But it's being spread out now, and the depth is really being tested. Now, Jamar Chase is down. You can have depth. You can have a great fourth receiver, and I'm sure they want to address some of that, but you're not going to get another Jamar Chase. We lost to Wouzier last night, one of the 5 best pure cover corners in the NFL. You can have another good cornerback on your team, but you're not going to, replace it, Chidi Awuzie. So it's the same like DJ Reader. Really, last night was the first time we really, really missed DJ Reader since he's been hurt, and that's a credit to the guys giving maximum effort, and it's a credit to Lou Anarumo and his scheme. But everything, as certain games, things have fallen together. Last night, everything fell apart and fell apart big. But I think they will adjust. I think they'll get after Carolina, and like I said, we have the quarterback. As long as they keep him upright, a really good cornerback can compensate for deficiencies on other parts of your team, and we do have that quarterback.
Can I ask a real quick question? Do you guys think Chris Evans will get any more playing time?
James,
Oh
answer
my
that.
gosh.
He
Oh
looked
my
good
gosh.
on that pass reception.
I think they only allow one play a game. He had a hell of a catch, and then he sat on the sidelines the rest of the night. That's something, in our little internal chats we talk about on a daily basis. You've got to like what you saw from him in the preseason. Unlike Mike Thomas, who we'll talk about later, Chris Evans catches everything thrown at him. Especially with this Jamar Chase injury, I think Tom's beating this drum a lot. Why not push Tyler Boyd outside? Put Chris Evans in the slot. Heck, put him in the backfield. Samaje Perine walked off the field holding his thumb last night. I haven't seen anything today in the media. I don't know if that's a sprain, if it's broken. So he may be banged up as well. But regardless of how we get him in the game, I think we need to get Chris Evans more involved in whatever capacity that is.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for your time, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg. Good night.
Appreciate
All
it.
right, we got time to bring one more on. I'm gonna reiterate my keep it clean before I bring this guy on. We don't want any swearing on here. Who
Just because he's from New York doesn't mean he's going to say something out of line.
Who we got?
Hey, I'm just letting you know. All right.
Hey, hold on, Jamie. Jamie, do we have the? Do we have the?
Augie.
We don't have
What's up, guys? How's it going? I promise I'll keep it clean. I promise.
All right, brother. All
I
right.
was a little freaky right now. I got you guys on the smart TV, so I'm looking at myself a little bit too. So, but you know what? The previous caller, he kind of stole my thunder a little bit. I would love to see more Chris Evans, man. I mean, we got to figure out how to adapt without Jamar. I mean, he's going to be back soon. Hopefully, the next 3 weeks his bye's coming at a perfect time. We just got to beat Carolina. It ain't the 90s. We're not 0-8. 4-4 is not a death sentence. We'll be fine. We got the talent, and I think we got a great leadership as far as Burrow and the guys on defense. I think we'll be fine. If you told me that our defense was going to give up 8 points going into halftime, you would think we'd be winning the game. There are a lot of calls. Not going to blame the refs, although there were some egregious holding calls when Cleveland was on defense and in pass protection when we were bringing the heat, and they didn't call it. But I'm not going to blame the refs at all. We can turn around. We got the pieces, and I promise. Like I said, I wouldn't swear, and I didn't.
You know what?
Go ahead,
hold on, fellow New Yorker to New Yorker. I think we were undefeated 2-0 when you started spray painting your backyard. Did you stop that tradition? Is that why we can blame the loss last night? You didn't decorate your backyard.
A little bit. In my defense, I didn't get to the leaves yet. My backyard's covered in leaves right now. I'm going to get back to it. I just got to get more spray paint from work.
For Sunday, get some spray paint, break them damn leaves, and decorate the yard.
Well, you'll be seeing me Sunday. I'll have to do it either tomorrow or Thursday. So I'll be heading out there Saturday. So I'll see you Sunday for the tailgate.
All righty.
Hey, so Augie, go ahead. I think we got the quote of the night here. It's not the 90s. 4-4 is not a death sentence, guys. That's pretty much what you said, Augie. We're with you on that, brother. I mean, we got some things we got to fight through, but I'm with you.
Yeah, Augie, it's
Absolutely.
not the '90s, but to tell that to Bengal Jim with the music that he listens to. But nonetheless, a
Hey,
question, Augie,
I was
for
born
you.
in the '80s. His music is right up my alley, so I can't complain.
But to you and James, I mean, what? Because I know James has studied this very intently. What is it with Chris Evans that we as fans are not seeing? Can he not pick up blocking schemes? Can he not run the ball? Is he not seeing the hole? Is he not running the patterns right? Because the limited sample we have, the guy produces.
That's what I'm wondering. Maybe he doesn't have full grasp of the playbook. I'm just getting tired of seeing him out there only on kickoffs and watching the ball fly over his head. Get him out there. Anytime he gets the ball in his hands, he produces. We would, like last night, that was a heck of a catch he made. I mean, we have to find something just to cover up the absence of Jamar Chase right now. I mean, maybe like the previous caller said, maybe we got to put him in the slot, like and swing Boyd outside. But we got to find something new.
Hey, Augie, literally Chris Evans watches the show, obviously. That's really
wow.
There. So there is Chris Evans there.
We got your back, 25. We got your back.
Augie,
wow, that's amazing.
Augie, if you were the owner of this team, what's the one thing you'd change right now?
Wow. First thing I would change.
And the Bengal Gym party
you
deck
put me on the spot
count.
here, damn.
Bengal Gym party deck doesn't count.
Wow.
Nothing on the field.
He was not expecting a question, Jamie.
Well,
look at it. This is awesome.
If anything, I would push that to have all of our games nationally covered, so I'd have to pay for DirecTV. But other than that, I think the ownership is going in the right direction. You see with social media and just we're getting a lot more exposure, like not just on the field but off the field as well, like in social media. I mean, I have no gripes with the ownership right now. They did spend the money to address the O-line, but I don't want to ramble on. I know you guys got a show to do.
No, so sorry for the hard-hitting question. I wish I could. I'm going to go back and get your face when I asked you that. We're going to put that on a shirt. So,
oh boy, is it going to be on a sleeveless shirt? I want a sleeveless shirt.
Good call.
Oh
Good
man,
call.
I love you guys. Keep it up.
Hey, love you all.
You guys do a great job. I'll see you this weekend.
We'll see you Sunday, buddy. Safe travel. Who day?
Hey, if it wasn't for Jamie setting that call up, we'd been off the air quickly. Jamie did a hell of a job on that.
Yeah, he didn't swear. That was awesome. Okay, we are running low on time, so we're gonna bring on two people at once here. We got Cookie Girl, of course, and our buddy AJ. What's going on, guys?
Oh Lord, double trouble here. Who are we starting off with, Jamie?
Let's go to Cookie Girl.
Chris, help us out here, man. This is like Bengals fans counseling. What would you do as the coach on this team? What would be one of the first things you do to kind of fix some of the problems here?
Oh, she's froze.
She froze.
All right, let's roll that question to AJ. AJ, go ahead, buddy.
All right, so first I want to address last night's game. All right, so this is for Cleveland and this is for the Browns. Take that right there. All right.
Good thing we went full screen for that. Good thing we're full screen.
Not swearing, right?
Well, the screen cut off my fingers a little bit. So,
Augie's sitting at home watching me, not going, "Damn it, I could have done that."
He wasn't thinking. You got to use your gestures. You're from New York.
Yeah.
So, look it. Last night when we had that red zone pick, it changed everything. You know, we drove it really well that first drive, so it was a momentum thing, and we just never got back in jiving with what we're supposed to do. So, I mean, we're 4-2 after the opening two games, which really isn't that bad. And we played some really good football over the last 4 weeks. Last night sucked. It was brutal. You know, I don't think they should change that much. The running game does seem iffy. P. Ryan seems to hit the holes harder than Mixon. Chris Evans, give the man a crack, man. I mean, the kid's got talent. Everybody's agreeing to that. But let him try to run it. Have we tried to run the ball with the guy? I don't know. It seems like we can run the ball, but we're just not doing it right. And like I said, P-Ride's hitting the holes harder. And it's just a straight ahead run. It goes 4 or 5 a dig, but that's all we need.
It does sort of feel like this fan base is kind of fallen out of love with Joe Mixon, is it not? I just get that sense. Like, I got a lot of criticism last night. You see on all the comments, like making fun of him dancing back there and like, run, stop dancing and run.
Hey, Jamie, you made a great point. So, AJ, this is a great point. I think Tom and I hit this today as well. Look, man, Joe Mixon is one of my favorite players on this team. But guys, look, being honest, being very transparent, he's had a problem blocking, picking up blitzes. That fumble last night may have been his fault. He's not hitting the holes hard. He dropped a pass last night. Something's going on. And I tell you what, the coaching staff's probably going to be making some decisions here very soon because Joe Mixon was drafted when 2017 maybe came to the team, somewhere around there. But tell you what, I picked him up on my fantasy team this year thinking he was going to be a stud.
Oh, yeah.
It's one thing not hitting the holes like we think he should, but not picking up the blitzes. He's responsible for some of these sacks as well. Got some of the pressures, right, Tom?
Well, if I can just a little bit of balance here, like Jimmy said, Joe had a little bit of a checkered past coming into the NFL. There was an incident in college, just one, but it was severe. Since he's come here, he's been a model citizen, a model teammate. He is a fantastic supporter of the Cincinnati community. You see him at youth sports, high school games, UC games, accessible, approachable to the fan base, just a class guy. And this is I'm getting a little ahead of myself because if we get Ickey on a little bit, I'm going to ask this. But the shelf life today for an NFL running back is not like it was 20 years ago. It's 4, 5, and really if you get to year 6, you're playing with house money. He's there. And we're at a point now where he doesn't seem to be hitting the holes quickly. Maybe the holes aren't there, but he doesn't seem to be cutting back. He's definitely not breaking tackles. Joe's strength has never been picking up the blitz, and for whatever reason, it seems worse this year. And when he's also not catching balls, I don't know that he's offering a lot, and it pains me because he's very important to that locker room. And he's one, like Jimmy said, he's one of my favorites too. But something is very, very off. I mean, to the point of, you might even say he's hurting the team being out there. And I wonder during the bye week as the coaches sit and say, what are we going to do different? What are we going to reboot? What do we have to do? Just to try something. If they don't, put Chris Evans in or look to do something else at running back.
Tom, let me transition that thought. And you mentioned coaching. And AJ, I'm going to throw this question to you. The person, if you look at a couple of our struggles this year, it's O-line and running game. There's one person that has that job, and his name's Frank Pollock. This is year 2. Have we seen improvement from Jackson Carman this year? No, he hasn't even been active, one of the draft picks. We drafted a couple other offensive linemen last year. They really haven't done much. We're sitting here talking about the running game. We're talking about Mixon, who we know what Mixon's done. We talk about Chris Evans wasting away on the bench. We talk about P. Ryan running hard when he gets in. At what point does Frank Pollock get put to the podium and say, hey, you're in charge of 2 of our biggest issues on this football team. What's going on? AJ?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question because everybody was really excited when Frank Pollock entered the building. And we thought that our O-line stuff was changed. But then we said we got to have the talent. So we went and got the talent. And we see some glimpses of some really good O-line play this year. There has been definitely some games where Burrow's been pretty clean, and he's picking apart the defenses. But then once we get behind, and they know we're going to pass it, and they can pin their ears back and come after Burrow, they stop nothing. Last night was a good example. We've seen it in a couple other games when we're behind and they know we're going to pass it. So I don't know. That's a tough call. I mean, I got to believe that the coaching staff that we have is the right coaching staff. I mean, come on. We were in the Super Bowl last year. We're going to go into the bye 5-4. We're going to build momentum from that. We'll make the playoffs. We'll win in the playoffs. I feel confident with all those statements. But, it is tough to watch Burrow still get 8-0 the way he was last night. So, there will be a point where you got to question that. But I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, AJ, it's interesting. when the season started, we obviously picked up, really, we have 4 new starters on an offensive line, and I thought our problems might be on the interior of the line. If you look at the PFF grades last night, the guards and our center performed very well.
Mm-hmm.
It's our tackles.
Yep.
That are the problems. Leal has had extremely inconsistent at best, I think is what I would say. And last night, obviously, our left tackle has problems against superior athletes, man. He's struggled off and on all year as well. So our interior of the offensive line has actually played pretty damn well. Our tackles have been inconsistent at best. That's to be honest, I wasn't expecting that this year at all.
All right, AJ.
All right, AJ.
We
appreciate it, buddy.
Yes. See you guys this weekend.
All right. Safe travel.
Hey, am I able to post the Cleveland? This is for Cleveland. That's for the Browns because that's going to be a great post. All right, we're going to blur it out, but we're going to do it.
All right.
Not till after 9:00. No.
What?
Hello,
Lisa.
After she presented Tom with a thing of peanuts at the Holy Grail, I can't believe you would let her on this podcast.
Sorry.
How are you?
I'm okay. Last night was tough. It's I've been a Bengals fan my whole life since the late 70s, and it's tough to watch the downhill slide from here. But I think we went out and we go 13-4. I still think we're in the playoffs.
What exudes the confidence, Lisa? We love the positivity. So with the injuries we have, with the struggles we've had, what makes you think we're going to turn this around?
Besides alcohol.
I care about the team, really. I just think the culture, I think they'll pick each other up.
Yeah.
My worries are, I worry about losing Cheeto. I think he's really important to the team. And like Tom touched on the Mixon thing, I love Joe Mixon. He's one of my favorite players. And to see him not be the running back that we had before, it's tough to watch. I want him to do well. I want him to have a great season. And I think if we could get him on track and he could get those yards, it would open up the passing game and it would just make everything better for the whole team.
Yeah, at least I'm with you on that. I'm with you. That's awesome. That's an awesome point. Really is.
Shane's made a really good point earlier. Like the shelf life of running backs these days is nowhere near. And we, it sucks to say. And he's still obviously a very young man. But in NFL years, he's it's getting up there. And you're starting to see the game maybe decline a bit, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the Manning cast really makes Monday Night Football fun when the team's not doing well. Those two cats are pretty entertaining.
Yeah. Elaborate on that for those of us that were at the game, or maybe those that watch the regular broadcast, Lisa.
They had Boomer Esiason on, and I don't know if you guys remember the Boomer Esiason underwear commercial for, was it Hanes? They showed that, and it was so funny. I had forgotten. And he talked about when the rest of the team was banned from the waterfront restaurant and just little snippets like that. It was really funny.
Nice. Let's go back and watch that.
She was excited. She was excited to see Boomer in his underwear. Jeez.
Yeah, well, Chris Collinsworth was more my jam back in those days, but
he does resemble Mark. I can see that.
Yeah, Mark's actually wearing his Victory Monday T-shirt today, although it's not accurate. But
I thought you were saying he's going to wear the Boomer Esiason underwear today. That's okay. All right.
Mark's underwear. I was starting to cancel the show.
We're looking for a bounce back on Sunday. We got to win this one, hobble into the bye, and let's make something happen. Get back to the playoffs.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Lisa. Always good to see you guys.
Thank you. I'll see all y'all Sunday.
See you Sunday.
Right.
Who day? Best
All
couple ever. I love them. Ickey's having some issues here, not with the log on. He may not be able to be back to the house in enough time to do this from the car. So let's just keep going with this conversation, guys. I think this has been great.
All right. What's going
Corey,
on,
is that you, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Corey, what's up, brother? So tell us, where'd you watch the game at last night? Give us your thoughts, brother.
I watched the game from the comfort of my couch last night. So, unfortunately,
I was going to travel to Cleveland, but I'm going on the injury reserve list in 2 weeks. I got to have a rotator cuff surgery, so I'm trying to be careful what I do. So,
well, that takes Corey out as a free agent.
Come on, Jamie, you're not going to pick me up?
not with a torn rotator cuff.
I mean,
So-
I was going to go to tryouts this week, but the doctor said I shouldn't play for at least 6 months. So,
Hey Corey, speaking of tryouts, I read you and follow you and know how you follow the team. And I'll throw this out to my co-hosts as well. We're talking about guys that we count on that aren't playing as well as we would like and as we've seen in the past. How much longer do you think we're going to hang with Kevin Huber? He's 31st out of 32 punters in the league right now.
A couple stinkers last night.
Yeah, there was a couple bad ones, and it wasn't the first game this year with a couple of bad punts. So I think this is definitely going to be his last year. I think they will let him roll out this year. And I think they're going to go. I think we kept a rookie on their practice squad. Did Christian
right?
or was he named?
Crispin. Well, the interesting thing is, early last Sunday before the Falcons game, Crispin was out with the coaching staff and was booming monster punts inside Paycor Stadium. Now, I'm sure, I don't know what the protocol is for guys on the practice squad, just to have a little extra time to practice, or, maybe he was just out exercising and getting the kick when he could, and some of the coaches were out there, or are they monitoring him? But, I love Kevin Huber and what he's done. Nobody has played more games than Kevin Huber, but, wow, that's not, just like we're saying, that's not Joe Mixon. That's not Kevin Huber. I'm watching.
Well, I think that the Bengals did the right thing, brought him back. He got the numbers he needed, and maybe now it's time to move on, because he shanked a couple last night where you're just going like, what the hell? And last week as well. And one thing that's funny, we always, people don't think about special teams until it costs you games. We learned with the long snapper injury how important special teams can be, and a shanked punt at the wrong time.
Hey, James.
Yeah, shank punt at the wrong time cost you a game. So,
Corey, what other thoughts last night, Corey, on the game? What stuck out to you the most?
The way our defense started off, it got hot. They got those the interceptions. They were doing really well. I unfortunately think they got gassed from being out there. I think they were out there too long. I think we had a couple way too many short drives. And that first series, we'll go back to the first series. We're driving down the field. Myles Garrett tips that ball. T. Higgins then tips it, and then it ends up into Cleveland's hands. So I think that was a huge turning point. I think we go down there, we get 7. It may be a whole different ball game at that point.
Yeah, good point. Well, brother, we appreciate you being with us, man. Can't wait to see you Sunday, man. We're gonna get back on track and be 5-4 after this week, man.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. I'll see you guys Sunday.
See you, buddy.
Tuesday, Corey. Take care, buddy.
all right, we got a special guest here coming in.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
What's up, guys?
Oh, Lord. Ryan, this is West Coast Portland, Oregon. Ryan here. So, Ryan, where did you watch the game at last? How what do you think about what's your thoughts about last night?
So was at my girlfriend's sister's house. They have a little kid, so we did some trick or treating before the game started.
Don't look at us. Watch the road. Don't look at us. Watch the road.
Yeah. So her
2 hands on the wheel.
What?
Two hands on the wheel, Tom said. You got somebody in the insurance game, so we're just worried about the last person we had on driving was the crack man.
Don't look at the camera.
We were worried for his safety the whole time, much like we're worried about the little foster right now.
Your dad is an insurance man. 2 hands on the wheel. Don't look at the camera.
He's got me covered. No, but so my girlfriend's family, they're not really big NFL fans, so I kind of turned them into Bengals fans this past year. So watched the game, and the Bengals doing what they were doing. They saw the bad side of me, I guess you would say, when the Bengals are doing bad. So hopefully they don't think I'm too crazy.
So what stuck out, Ryan? What one thing that when you watched that game kind of upset you more than anything?
Obviously, the second half defense wasn't there, but I think the game would have been totally different if the first couple of drives we had, obviously that turnover and then some costly drives that we could have had first downs or possibly went down and scored. So I think that was the big turning point. The first few drives really killed the momentum.
Yeah, I agree with you, James.
Brian, being an ex-collegiate football athlete, what's your thoughts on the running back situation? That seems to be the hot topic tonight, along with Mixon struggles, but Chris Evans needs more touches. Why do you think he's not getting the playing time? What are we missing here?
I don't know. Chris Evans had a great preseason. I don't know why he hasn't been involved more in the offense. As far as Joe Mixon goes, we got a new offensive line, so he should be doing very well. So I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's the scheme or the new offensive line, he's just not used to that. I have no idea.
Yeah, interesting. Well, dude, keep converting the people from Portland into Bengal fans, brother. It's good seeing you, buddy. Love you, man. Hope we see you soon.
Yep, love you, Dad. See you guys. Good day.
See you, Ryan.
Good day, Ryan.
Bye, buddy. Yeah, that's funny, him calling in. So, guys, let's talk about something. Again, this is something else Tom and I talked about, and I think maybe James and I talked the other day as well. The receivers on this team, guys, we have one receiver. We have one receiver that has speed to stretch this defense, and that's Jamar Chase. And without him being there, all of our receivers have a different skill set. We did not have a speed receiver last night. And I think the communication level between Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase is on another level. I was talking to a former player here today who made this comment. He said there was a couple passes that were to Tyler Boyd. And Tyler Boyd was running a go route when Joe Burrow was throwing a back shoulder. There's this communication between Chase and Burrow that they have. They can look at each other in line or something they do to kind of key off each other, communicate basically what they're going to do. They've got that where they need to be. And some of these other guys maybe are not on that same level of communication, but not being able to stretch the field does present a problem. Tom, I mean, is that's something you would agree with there?
It presents a monstrous problem, particularly when defenses are able to sit back because they're not loading up the box because they're not at all worried about the run. So, yeah, losing Jamar, not just we have a hole in his position, but it weakens every other position we have on offense from being able to attack a defense. But again, I think I do have enough faith in this coaching staff and definitely faith in the quarterback that they'll find a way to win no matter what.
I'm going to disagree with I guess your sentiment, Jimmy. We've seen some deep balls to T. Higgins. We saw T. Higgins get held last night. We saw the long play T. Higgins had against one of the best cornerbacks in the league, the Miami game. To my opinion, receivers aren't our problem. Starting Mike Thomas or playing Mike Thomas is a problem. We saw the drop in the end zone, the Pittsburgh game. We saw the terrible drop last night. Trenton Irwin, Taylor, those guys catch everything. Remember the 2-point conversion in Kansas City last year? Every ball thrown to them, they catch. We have Chris Evans. Give Joe Burrow time. He'll hit put you out there, Bengal Jim. He'll hit you. But I think it all goes back to the bigger issue here. Give Joe Burrow time. Give him a pocket, and wide receivers at least of our worries right now. Losing Jamar Chase. Yes, it hurts. But how many teams would love to have T. Higgins as their number one, have Tyler Boyd a big part of the offense, have Chris Evans? So again, Taylor and Irwin catch everything that's thrown at them. The wide receivers are the least of my problems right now.
Yeah, just to be very clear, that was an actual comment from a former player. I'm just taking, and I agree with it because there's a lack of separation. Joe Burrow's going to need more time in a pocket when you got somebody that's not creating separation. But last night, T hit that was a greedy from the Browns that he burned and high pointed and mossed him for that touchdown. Again, second half kind of garbage touchdown late, but I'm with you. Look, man, I think somebody said this on I think it might have been Joe Goodberry or something. We always talk about peaks and valleys, but remember, everybody, it's never as bad as you think it is, because right now we think everything's on fire. But it's never as good as we think it is either, because last couple games prior to this, we're winning and winning big. It was never as good as we thought it was, but it's not as bad as we think it is right now. I don't know where that median is, but there's some obvious things we need to address. And, man, I'll tell you what, our left tackle and our right tackle, I hope they figure this out, man, for the team's sake, because if those two can figure it out, they're going to give us a chance, down the stretch here.
Okay, just to confirm, Ickey is not going to come on. He's not going to make it.
Yeah, he's literally not going to make it. He will be at the tailgate Sunday, he's saying, but he's not. He's still not home. He said he was up. He was up in Cleveland with us last night, but he is not going to be on. But he said he will be at the tailgate Sunday for everybody.
All right, so you know what that means.
Hey, folks, it's time for the 2-minute warning.
Perfect.
All right, start with you, Tom.
Yeah, like Jimmy said, it's never as dark as it seems, and probably never as light as it seems. It did, the TV screen, or if you were there at the stadium, really showed it all last night. To steal from John McKay, we didn't block, and we didn't pass rush either. There was no phase of the game that worked right. It was as poor a special teams performance as I can remember for this team since Darren Simmons took over. I mean, 12 men on the field to block an extra point. Money Mac missing a couple. And that was just part of it. That was part of what snowballed all wrong. Jonah Williams has never been able to handle Myles Garrett, but most guys can't. I think he has a big game this week. I know those guys are hurting. I think their pride is hurt, and they're going to put everything they can into winning this game. Hopefully Eli Apple is healed up so we can got some more quality and a little more depth at the cornerback position, and we can get after the passer. But winning this Sunday will heal a lot of wounds and put some energy back into the fandom. And to a degree, I don't think anybody's really jumping off the bandwagon. I think everybody's just really hurt and really frustrated. But it's not the raw hate that I've heard from years past or was stirred up by local radio or anything like that. So, keep the positive waves. Let's get down to Paycor early, make it loud, and we'll go from there. Step at a time. That one step is all we can do is beat Carolina. And for that, I'm going to turn to the north and Jamie.
Turn to the north. That's interesting. I don't know, guy. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's been a long time since I was scared on Halloween, but that was scary last night watching that game. I think the only question I have is if I do come down this Sunday for the game, am I able to get it picked up at the airport Friday night? Any of you guys around Friday? All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I think I'm supposed to be going to Vegas, but I think my Vegas plans are changing, so I might.
We might even Tom can pick you up in a hearse and still carry over the Halloween team if needed.
Can you pick up in a hearse?
I will be working Friday evening. Otherwise, I would in a regular car pick up Jamie, but I will be working.
Jamie, I'm in town. I got you.
I mean, all the girls that watch the show that drool over you, I'm sure we can get one of them to pick you up.
All the girls that drool. The only girls drooling over me are the ones taking their dentures out. The drool's coming down. That's it. Sorry for the visual. I'm thinking about. I think I might come down on Sunday, so I'm coming on Friday and then go home Monday. So I'll talk to you guys off there about that. But I was struggling with things. We covered so much tonight in the fan segment. A lot of the people that aired the grievances are pretty much all the same grievances I have to air. Last night was awful, not only from a Bengals fan standpoint, but as a degenerate gambler. Was not the outcome I was expecting. Could have really used a Joe Mixon touchdown last night, but what can you do? I'm done.
James.
You're done. All right. Well, it's a nice segue there. I want to thank our friends at Betfred who joined us last night in Cleveland, hand out some pretty cool koozies. Also, the last game, we had their new 30th anniversary Bengal Gym koozies along with their logo. Real nice product. We'll have some more on Sunday. Speaking of Sunday, the weather is 70 degrees, sunny skies, unseasonable weather for the month of November. So come down, join us, eat some Gold Star chili, and drink some 16 lots beer, and we'll have fun. Yeah, last night was ugly. I think we've beaten it down enough. Let's forget about it. The injury bug is a thing this year. We were fortunate last year. Unfortunately, we're not as fortunate this year. So it's going to be next man up. We're going to see some young guys get some playing time and keep the faith. I think certainly not looking past Carolina. DJ Moore is a heck of a receiver. So we're going to have to do what we can to cover him. Obviously, they've traded away some pieces. They've kept core pieces like Brian Burns, who's another strong defensive end that. Those tackles are going to have to block and keep away from Joe Burrow. But hopefully we'll see some more Chris Evans. Hopefully we'll get the running game back on track and, move forward. The one thing we talked about going into the New Orleans game was that we needed to be 3-1 in these next 4 games. We still have the possibility to do that. I wish one of those 3 wins was Cleveland. Going 0-3 in the AFC North is not what we wanted, but the season's still ahead of us, and again, let's stay positive. I want to thank all the fans that came on the show and gave their perspective. By the fans, for the fans is something we beat home, and we appreciate everyone that watches and for coming on and chatting with us for a couple minutes. Jimmy.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, man. Thank you so much, everybody, for being part of this, and I'm glad we had so many people in the waiting room. Ickey not being able to make it, but Ickey apologizes, but he promises you he will see you down at the tailgate. Also, just to let you know, I got confirmation today that David Fulcher will likely be at the tailgate with us as well. So more to come, more excitement to come. Just keep an eye on social media about the tailgate this week. Guys, I want to thank some other people here real quick. Last night in the city up north, we had an absolute blast prior to the game and post game. James, we don't know the final number, but we would like to thank Craig Johnson for lining up the brewery on 4th Street that we hung out at last night. We had hundreds. I don't know what the final count was because there was people coming and going from 3:00 all the way up to almost kickoff to that venue last night. It was unbelievable. Thank you, Craig Johnson, for making that happen from Cincy Beer Fest. And thanks, Del Hall from 16 Lots. This is a brewery that brews their own beers. Craig brought up a half barrel of Ken Anderson Day Drinking Lager that they put on tap for us. And everybody they blew that tap pretty quick for that Ken Anderson Day Drinking Lager. But thanks, Del Hall from 16 Lots. Thanks, Craig from Cincy Beer Fest for making that happen. And thanks, everybody, for showing up last night. We had people from all over the country, Toronto, Canada, all over the place join us last night pregame at the event last night. Thank you guys so much. A lot of fun. Charity, Tony came on here earlier today. We're going to be doing a duck race. It is posted right now on our social media. $25 a duck. We're going to max out at 100 ducks. No more ducks than that. It's an Ocho Cinco signed jersey, certified. So it's on our social media platform now. Make sure you start grabbing a duck and get that. We'll do that duck race next Tuesday. So we will do that duck race. Make sure you grab a duck there. And I guess I'll close with this, man. And as awful as that game was last night, nothing went right. When was the last time something like that happened, Tom? I mean, it seems like every game we've either won or lost. It seems like it's been so tight. I mean, every loss we've had other than this game yesterday has been by a walk-off field goal. So this is an awful feeling we haven't had in quite a while, right?
It's been at least 2 years. So, like I said, just heal up and move on. And, the only thing that matters right now is beating Carolina, getting back over 500 and getting right back in that wild card chase.
100%. I'll close with this. Augie's comment I don't know why it hit me between. It just smacked me in the face. It's not the 90s, everybody. And if you weren't around in the 90s, trust me, this is not the 90s. 4-4, not a death sentence. Let's get back on track. Let's get this win against Carolina. They're going to need you. They're going to need you. They're going to need us at this stadium this Sunday to support them and get loud and make it difficult for Carolina to win this game. 5-4 going into a break is a really big deal. So let's make it happen. Let's stay positive. We can be upset about it because I know I'm upset. I literally am just awful last night. But let's move on. We can't look back anymore. Let's just move on and get this win this Sunday and get back on track. Thanks so much for being with us, guys. We'll see you Sunday at the tailgate. Stay tuned on our social media platforms for some other cool stuff going on this Sunday at the tailgate. We'll see you then. Thank you, everybody.
Who Dey.
Thanks, Who Dey.